right now.
Okay, since 1974, photographer Bruce Bennett has captured everything that moved on the ice, better than most. He's put it all in a book, somehow picking out the best of the best. He joins us next in our studio. Great memories with every shot. We're back on Hockey Night Live. We mentioned Bruce Bennett started in 1974. Well, shortly after that, while he got good, the Islanders started getting great. Great opportunity for Denny Potvin shot, and I think that's Guy Lafleur. Upside down. That's a moment that was shot on film. Howe and Gretzky, and then Ken Linsman with the Rat. I interviewed him shortly after that and asked him about being called the Rat, and he walked out of the studio live. It was a bad moment. Bruce, welcome to Hockey Night Live.
Thanks so much.
How hard was it to come back to count down all your pictures into 254 pages?
When you start with 2 million and you got to go down to 250, it's pretty tough. So segmented from digital, slides, negatives, prints. It was about a year and a half going through everything to try to get it down to the 250.
Any regrets of the pictures you picked?
Not yet.
Well, let's go down memory lane and look at some of the pictures, because I felt like we were watching the history of hockey.
The mullets.
That's fantastic.
Look at that.
Was that 92?
I have no idea. There's so many games that I remember.
That was probably the second year in Pittsburgh, because they had the Bob Johnson patch on.
Mm-hmm.
This, I didn't understand this, Bruce. To have Goldie Hawn and Bruce and Burt Reynolds.
I didn't understand it either.
Oh, they were in tandem at the time.
they
anyway.
were.
Johnny B.
Why is there no shot of Steve Alakett and Henrik Lundqvist in one jersey? Could they not find one big enough?
Steve Alakett actually, you know, there are 246 pictures in the book. Valakett's photo came in 247.
That's what you told me.
I'm sorry. You were 248.
Jeez.
But you was in it.
I'm in it.
You made it.
I did get it. I did.
Your book sort of embodies his career in a way.
Yeah, pretty much. Yes.
One of my favorite pictures is
My draft selection.
is Al Arbor standing on an Eastern Airlines gangway. So there's got to be a story there. First of all, it's Eastern Airlines. We'll see in a second.
Incredible. Oh, that's the shoe.
That's the famous shoe incident.
What's the story behind this one?
1982, the New York Islanders win out in Vancouver, take the charter jet back into LaGuardia through the night, partying on the back of the plane while the media people such as myself were in the front hearing all the commotion. And when we pulled up at the Marine Terminal at LaGuardia, hundreds and hundreds of fans out there, camped out all night, ready to meet the players and welcome them home. And this old-fashioned staircase was just sitting out there near the fans. And one by one, about 6 or 8 players jumped up there. And
I noticed that there's a certain chunk of the book where a lot of guys don't have teeth, and that was hockey back then. But more and more as you advance to the modern era, you don't see a lot of that anymore, do you?
You don't see it that much. You know, times have changed, obviously, with the way the game is.
There's Johnny Mack. Oh, there we go.
There he is.
There we go.
Yep.
Yeah, there's
Oh,
Whitey.
Johnny
Open
Mack.
your eyes when
Yep.
he's taking a picture of Mac.
Colin White there. Speaking of teeth, he's a modern-day player. He was missing a couple there.
Yep.
President Bush.
And what about the transition from film to digital? You know, back in the day, you didn't know if you had a money shot.
Right.
Now you just look down and see if you're going to keep shooting.
Oh, in the earlier days, we didn't know for a couple of days, maybe a week, whether we actually got the image or not. Now, right away, you know whether you're failed at the task. You know, it's very different now.
Is
so
there
many
one,
changes.
you know, with that, is there one you remember? You're sitting there in the dark room and you don't know, and you're looking and you're like, wow. Is there one that was like that for you?
I think it was actually the Lafleur photo. Potvin
Upside down.
Because
Wow.
you really don't know until you process the film whether it's in focus, whether you had the key moment. And actually back then the motor drives and the cameras were a lot slower. So you shoot maybe 5 frames a second. And the fact is I just ran into that sleeve of negatives, and that was the one frame. There was a player cutting across, ruining the first and the third picture. I mean, right in the middle was that perfect frame.
Wow. All right, the book is called Hockey's Greatest Photos. I got it in the mail a couple of days ago, and the next hour we're pretty much taken up with looking through the book. Congratulations. Bruce Bennett from Getty Images. It seems like a perfect holiday Christmas gift.
I hope so. Thanks very much.
Excellent, Bruce.
All right, we'll take a break here on Hockey Night Live, presented by Geico. When we come back, E.J. Raddick takes us around the National Hockey League.